Wow, this is so nice.
Whoa.
Well, hi. I'm obviously not in Amsterdam anymore. I'm home again. I thought I'd just sit down and kind of put everything together and make it make sense by just talking through the trip. I wasn't quite sure that I was gonna film this trip to Amsterdam. It was obviously a holiday for me and Jessie, and we really wanted to kind of maximize our time in Amsterdam together. So I kind of went into it with like I'll film a bit if I feel like it, and then we'll see. This was a very last minute trip that Jessie and I booked because he had a 2-for-1 voucher with British Airways that was about to expire in March, and we needed to use it before it expired because unfortunately we've lost the 2-for-1 voucher before it expired, before we used it. So we were really like, we need to use it this time. Jessie didn't have a lot of holidays left at work and we felt like we couldn't go anywhere too far. So we thought, where can we go on a Friday evening after Jessie's finished work and come home on a Sunday evening so he can go to work again on Monday? Somewhere that we don't need to fly for too long and somewhere we can go to just explore the town. So we eventually settled on Amsterdam. Now, Amsterdam is known for a lot of things. I think a lot of people think of drugs and prostitution, but Jessie and I aren't really interested in either of those things. So we wanted to see if Amsterdam is worth visiting if you're not going there for those things. So we packed our bags, went to the airport, had some average pasta and got on our flight at about 6 o'clock to go to Amsterdam. This was a 45-minute flight, I think, from London Gatwick, which is probably the shortest flight I've ever been on. And it was interesting to see what the flight attendants do. They don't have time to do a lot of things, so they basically offered us a sweet or savoury snack. I got the sweet option, which was digestives. We landed in Amsterdam around 8 o'clock Dutch time, did some typical first time in Amsterdam tourist stuff, and then we took the train and the metro to our hotel. Quick side note, I love the metro in Amsterdam. I love the metro in Amsterdam. It was just so easy, so roomy, so fresh. So then we checked into our hotel, which was Ruby Emma Hotel. We did a self check-in even, so we didn't have to speak to anyone, which I don't really find a problem, but if that's something you care about, I really recommend Ruby Emma Hotel because you don't need to speak to anyone at reception. We just had to go to the screen, I put my name in, we made our own card and went to the lift and went to our room. And I had already forgotten what I booked because I was the one who booked the hotel. So when Jessie and I walked into the room, we were both shocked at how gorgeous the room was. It was just so modern and fresh and clean. When we walked in, the first thing you see is a big bottle of water and this little welcome card, and in front of that, a piece of chocolate. It was kind of like the Tony's Chocolonely chocolate. Very, very nice. The room also had this subtle music vibe, which we didn't notice at first until Jessie pointed it out, because there was a mini Marshall speaker and then he turned around and saw the big Marshall amp. So basically they had an amp that you could borrow a guitar downstairs and take it up to your room and play guitar on the amp if you wanted to. And even though we did ask, unfortunately they did not have any left-handed guitars, so Jessie could not play. Lucky for me, I guess, because we're there on holiday, he shouldn't be playing guitar. The room was also very high-tech. It had an iPad that controlled everything. It controlled the lights, it controlled the TV, the room temperature. It was ultra modern. There was one button we didn't understand and it said facade, open, close, and we kept pressing open and kept pressing close and we couldn't figure out what it was. But if you listen to the word facade, it was basically like shutters on the outside of the windows that were opening and closing. Obviously we couldn't see that because it was dark outside. We figured it out later. We just didn't understand it.
Ooh.
Wow. Cute. Oh my god, look. A chocolate.
Whoa. This is crazy, girlfriend. Girlfriend.
What?
A Marshall amp.
Yeah. Wow, this is so nice. Wow. This is a shower. Wow. Wait, where's the toilet? Yeah. Wow, so you can poop when I shower.
I'm not gonna believe this.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. What does it say?
It says grab a guitar downstairs. I can grab a guitar and I can play it in a Marshall amp. It looks amazing. Oh, there's a bit of interference in here. All right, cool. I'm just gonna call them and see if they've got left-handed ones. There's an iPad for it. What? Right. So
Oh my god.
Wait. TV time.
Oh.
Relaxation and bathroom. Not really.
That's not really relaxation.
Open and close. I don't know what that does.
I don't know either. Okay, well, we're in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam!
So after we'd seen the room and taken our bags off, taken a deep breath, we decided that we should go to central Amsterdam and see what it's like. I only got 2 little videos from this moment because I got so overwhelmed. The first video I have is us coming up from the metro on the escalators, about to see a canal for the first time, and I was super excited because I wanted to see the Amsterdam canals. When we reached the top, I realized that Amsterdam is different from what I thought. We're about to see a canal. I didn't realize how much of a nightlife Amsterdam has, especially on a Friday evening, obviously. So I was in for quite a surprise. I feel like in the video you can almost see my face go. And then I stopped filming. So obviously I dropped all my expectations because I'm not gonna go in with prejudices. I think what happened is I'm used to London. I've lived in London for a really long time. I'm used to a lot of people everywhere all at once in London. But the nightlife in London just is not the same as it was a few years ago. For some reason, at night in London, it's not as busy on the streets. There's not as many tourists at night and things close early. So I think I was coming in with the idea of like, if a big city like London is like that, then Amsterdam is probably as well. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know, I thought it would be a bit calmer. I thought I'd be walking, looking at the canals, having a nice chill vibe. But I was very wrong. There were restaurants that were open. The pubs were pubbier than England. We walked around like central Amsterdam, so like red light districts and around there, and there were people everywhere. There were people inside of places and outside of places. There were people on the streets. We were dodging cyclists at night. There were obviously cafes for smoking and stuff like that, and there were shops open. We also walked past this restaurant where this cat was inside. Jessie tried to like tap on the glass and the cat was trying to stroke its body towards him. It was so cute. The way Amsterdam was at night is how I expect London to be at night. Eventually all these people and smells and just trying to dodge the cyclists, it was becoming a lot. So we decided to go back to the hotel and get a good night's rest. Next morning we woke up and I wanted pancakes. Luckily for me, the iPad in our room also had information of places to go in Amsterdam, and one of the recommendations was Moak. Just a disclaimer now, I'm not Dutch. I'm Swedish, but I'm not Dutch. I'm going to be butchering every single name and place. So yeah, Moak is where we wanted to go for our pancakes, and it happened to be in an area that we wanted to go anyway, to go and see a market. So we went to Moak. I had pancakes with berries and chocolate sauce, and Jessie had pancakes with bacon and maple syrup. We also had freshly pressed watermelon juice and pineapple juice. I had the watermelon, Jessie had the pineapple, but we kind of shared it a bit. Very, very filling, but very nice. I would recommend it. It's quite quirky as well. The menu is quite fun and had some like funny sentences on. You can pause the video, zoom in, see the quirkiness I'm talking about. Anyway, after we had the pancakes, we needed to walk. We were so full up. So we went to the Waterloo Plain Market and walked around. There was some really cool stuff. It's second-hand market. So there was clothes, there was bikes, There was just a bit of everything there. We also went into some of the secondhand shops and browsed, since Amsterdam is also quite known for its secondhand clothes, secondhand furniture, secondhand everything. We walked around for a bit. I saw this red scooter car, the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I had to take a video of it because I've never seen it before. That's so cute. But I realised this is quite common in Amsterdam. I saw a few of these driving around, a red one, a white one. Instead of cars and bikes, they just have a little scooter car. We kept walking around and ended up back in the red light district where we'd been the night before. We were getting really cold, so we decided that we needed to go inside. So we impulsively decided to go into the Museum of Prostitution. I can't remember what we had to pay for it. Basically, none of the museums in Amsterdam are free, which is different to London because most of the museums here are free. But in Amsterdam, they're not. So we paid maybe 30 euros for us both. I didn't have a lot of expectations at all. Like I said, we impulsively went in. I didn't know anything about this museum. It was such a good museum and I highly recommend it actually if you're going to Amsterdam. Can't remember all the information, so I don't want to get it wrong. But the museum is in an old brothel where a sex worker was murdered and the killer was never found. Like, this is a true thing that happened. So the museum was just bringing awareness to this line of work in Amsterdam, the risks involved, the laws around it. And we've got these little listening devices that you just touch against these things on the wall in every room, and you can listen to different stories and information told by Inga, who's a sex worker. And yeah, honestly, it was so interesting. So we walked out of that pleasantly surprised and thought, okay, so this is what Amsterdam museums are like. They're probably worth the money. We should go to more. So we walked up the street 20 meters, not even, and we saw this huge line coming out of the erotic museum. So we thought, okay, if the Museum of Prostitution was good and he's got a huge line, let's go to this one. So we went into that museum as well. I can't remember how much that cost. Similar, I think, maybe 10 euros each. It was okay, not very memorable. One of the coolest things they had though was an artifact from 800 AD. So that was really cool. I will say though, when we were in this museum, that's when I first realized how much Amsterdam buildings lean. Sometimes I was walking and I'd be like, whoa, my gravity is off. And then I realized, actually, no, it's just the building. I knew that that was a thing in Amsterdam. I just didn't realize how much you could feel the leaning. So we left the museum feeling quite indifferent, but we were quite hungry. We couldn't decide where we wanted to go. Eventually we decided to go to a hamburger place that we'd seen the night before. It had loads of people in it. There was like a queue and it had great reviews, but it was quite average. But it was still decent. It was nice to sit down, and there was also a really funny sign that had a picture of a face that I found really amusing. After that we wandered around. Our energy was dipping. We were getting cold. We were trying to find things that we could do inside and places where we could warm up. We ended up walking into some shopping centres where I saw this cool clock where it looks like someone is like wiping the clock behind it, which I later saw a similar thing at the Amsterdam airport, so I think it's like an Amsterdam thing. I did kind of look it up yesterday and I saw that it's this Dutch artist. He's like obsessed with clocks, I guess. That's what he does, these digital clocks that look like people are behind them cleaning them. I can't remember what his name was, but I'll put it here. I think it was Martin something. And there you go. Little interesting Amsterdam fact for you. Can't say I didn't teach you anything. Oh gosh. Eventually we decided we'd maxed out our energy, so we went home to the hotel and watched silly TV and ate chocolate. After the big salty burger lunch, we weren't very hungry for dinner, so we decided to go down to the hotel bar and have a light dinner there. And because we ticked the box that we didn't want to have our room cleaned during our stay, we were allowed to have one free drink each. So our dinner for the night was 2 delicious alcohol-free drinks, a margarita to share, and some weird focaccia bread with truffle something that we shared as well. well. So the next day was Sunday, the day we're going home, but our flight was at 9 o'clock at night, so we had the whole day to explore Amsterdam again. So we had a really slow day, and then we checked out at checkout time, 11 o'clock. We are in Amsterdam, but we are just about to leave the hotel room, so I thought I'd do a quick room tour of the hotel. We're staying at Ruby Emma Hotel, South Amsterdam. This is the door where you enter, and when you come in, this is what you see. Full-length mirror on the left, and opposite is a toilet with a door. Straight ahead is the tea and coffee station, and we had a water with a little letter and a piece of chocolate here, which was really cute. Then when you go to your right, there's another full-length mirror, some hangers where you can hang your coats and stuff. The towels were hanging here. We're just about to leave, so there's a bit of a mess. And then here's the sink, and here's the shower. Bedroom where Jessie is chilling. This Marshall speaker that we didn't use, but you can use. We got the TV, and then there was this Marshall lamp, which obviously Jessie was very interested in. Just table and seating area. Oh, and then we had this iPad that controlled everything. Like the temperature and what kind of lighting you wanted. These things, facade, we figured out are actually these things on the outside. Yeah. And that's the view. It's a horrible day today, but we're gonna make the best of it. That's the station, so it was literally a 3-minute walk to the station, and then we could take the metro and go into Amsterdam. Super convenient, so great location. Anyway, we are gonna check out now because the housekeeping has been knocking, so we need to go. Should we go?
Yeah, let's go.
So we checked out, said bye-bye to Ruby Emma Hotel, and went to the metro for the last time to go into central Amsterdam. This day I had checked the weather forecast, and it said that it was gonna stop raining at 12 o'clock. So we thought, okay, that's fine. Take the metro in, it'll be 11:30. Half an hour of rain, we'll be fine. Spoiler alert, we were not fine. It rained all day. It literally didn't even stop once. I was like, are we in London? Even when we were on the plane home, it was still raining. So that weather forecast was just pure lie. Lies! We tried to brave the rain, but it was just so rainy. We were cold and wet, and people were annoying. We got fed up and went to get a coffee. So we just sat and chilled for like an hour, just drinking our coffee, eating our cinnamon bun. And I saw this thing across the water that I'll keep in mind for next time I go to Amsterdam. Basically it was this swing on top of a building that you just swing out over the edge of the building. Crazy. After the coffee, we walked around in the rain. We tried to go into shops to get shelter from the rain, and eventually we got hungry. So we went to this small pizza place that I had looked up on Google Maps. You can never go wrong with a margarita. We got one buffalo and one margarita, and then we shared them. The pizza was so good. Highly recommend. Great place. Very small, but still good. We scoffed that pizza down, kept braving the rain, hoping it would stop, but it really did not stop. I really wanted to try a stroopwafel, which Netherlands is quite known for. But every place that we walked past that I wanted to go that had fresh stroopwafels, the queue was too long, and I was not going to stand in the rain just for a stroopwafel. So instead of stroopwafels, we went to this cute cafe that had these really nice homemade chocolate chip cookies. I think chocolate chip cookies probably beats stroopwafel. And that was the last thing that we did in Amsterdam. We tried to walk around, brave the rain. It was just too much rain. So we decided to go to the airport a little bit earlier and then just sit there and chill. I didn't realize until I checked in for our flights that I had actually booked the wrong airport to go back. I mean, it's fine because it was still London. I wasn't that silly. We prefer to fly in and out of Gatwick because it's much easier for us to get home, and that was what I thought I had booked because there was a Gatwick flight. I had somehow booked for us to fly into Heathrow instead of Gatwick. There was only a 10-minute time difference between these flights, so we spent like half an hour trying to fix that. We called British Airways and tried to like get on the Gatwick flight. Even though there was space on the Gatwick flight, we were not allowed to change because we had booked via the 2-for-1 voucher and it wasn't eligible or something like that. I don't know. We took the flight back to Heathrow, had a really stressful evening trying to get the last tube and then the last train, and we finally made it home before 1 o'clock in the morning so that Jessie could go to bed and get up for work at 6 o'clock. So that was our trip to Amsterdam. The summary is you can absolutely go to Amsterdam and have a great time without doing drugs and prostitution. I would love to go back to Amsterdam again, preferably on a day that is not pouring down rain. Because what we had actually planned to do on the Sunday was to walk around all of Amsterdam and see the Anne Frank house, the Van Gogh Museum, the Rijksmuseum, and just see more of Amsterdam. And I definitely don't feel like I got to see Amsterdam properly. I also once again have to mention the trains and metro system were so good, so much better than what they have here in London. With the amount of train strikes and tube strikes they've had here, and like how noisy the underground is in London, and the trains are like, you know, it was really interesting to see how well Amsterdam did it. It was just so easy, and I wish that London could do that as well. I also don't think I got to experience the good food that I've heard that Amsterdam has. That's a bit my fault because I didn't do enough research before we went. Usually before we go on holiday, I always try and research like restaurants around the areas we're gonna be and like things to do around the areas so that we have some kind of idea of things we can do and places we can eat. But I thought that I would challenge that this time and just try and go with the flow. And because it was a last minute trip, it was just 2 days, I just thought, okay, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let Amsterdam lead the way. Take me where you want me to go. And that's how we ended up in the Museum of Prostitution, which was super good. Oh, I don't think I mentioned as well, we did go to the Sex Museum, which loads of people apparently go to, like it's super popular. It was a cool building, loads of stairs that like crossed each other. It was like a bit confusing which floor you were on, but other than that there was not much to see in there. I would say out of all the 3 museums we went to, the Museum of Prostitution is definitely the one you should go to. The other ones, meh. We had a great holiday, amazing hotel, and can't wait to go back. And that's gonna be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to see what else I get up to. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.